All right, it's 7 o'clock, so I'll call this meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission to order for November 7th, 2024. Paige, could you help us with a roll call?
David Larson.
Present.
John Meyer.
Present.
Douglas Benschoter. Stephanie Garner. David Huser.
Here.
Kate Payne.
Here.
Kathy Olson. Here.
All right, thank you. That's enough for a quorum, so we'll continue. Item C on our agenda is the approval for the agenda for tonight's meeting. Would ask for a motion for that.
I move it be approved.
Second.
All right, that's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Hearing none, that motion carries. Item D is the approval of minutes for our October 3rd, 2024 meeting as printed.
Did you get your question in? Okay. You guys got it settled?
We got it.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion?
I'll move it.
Okay, second?
Second.
All right, that's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, that motion carries as well. All right, so if I could take just a moment, see we have a crowd here tonight. I just wanted to explain the public hearing process, just kind of how it works for those of you who may be unfamiliar. So pretty much, I'll open the public hearing. We have a couple items, 3 items in that, it looks like. So we'll open and close the public hearing for each of those items. So if you have a comment on one of the items when it's opened, approach the podium, give us your comments. And then we'll close the public hearing for that item, have some commission discussion, and then move to the next item after a vote, et cetera. So that's kind of how that process will work. And
Make sure they identify themselves.
yes, sorry, John, thank you. So we would ask that you state your name and address if you're going to provide some comments. And these are on TV, so if you can speak to the microphone, et cetera, that's helpful for people that watch it. Okay, with that, we're in the section E of our agenda, the public hearing. The first item in there is a special provisional use request for 1900 Heritage Way for a multifamily residential structure. So with that, I will open the public hearing for item 1 in that section. And Paige, if you can walk us through that agenda memo, and then if anyone would like to speak, that would be fine as well.
Barker Financial submitted the special provisional use application to turn that commercial hotel unit up front into a multifamily residential structure. The property is zoned C2, which requires a special provisional use for any multifamily residential structures. As you'll see, they did complete a study. It's been a hotel that just is not feasible. So they'd like to turn that front end into the multifamily housing, similar to what that back building is.
Okay. Do we?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, perfect.
Wes Holcamp, I'm here with Barker Financial. Just here for any questions, I guess. She kind of hit all the points I was going to say. So, yeah, that back end currently is residential. We are full there. I think we might have 1 empty right now, but we're not having issues with keeping it full. So we see a promising, an interest in the front end, making that residential as well. The hotel just wasn't working out since we've owned it, which is only a couple months, but we did that study and just didn't look like it was going to work out. So, any questions at all for me?
Do you have to do anything special to make it be a residential
So
facility versus, because the whole building isn't
Correct. Yep. So just a couple like electrical stuff that we've had to do, and I've been in works with Lindsay over in the county, and Paige has been helping me a little bit too. So we're making sure we're on the path to make sure that we are to code with everything. Fire's the exact same as a hotel, so that doesn't have to change. The single units, we're not looking to knock down any walls. So it's literally making them studios or 1-bedroom apartments with whatever we can do with what's currently there.
Will it be combined with the back half eventually?
It will, yep.
So it's one.
One big unit, yep, one big complex, yep. And this would be phase 1, hopefully, potential, growing, seeing how promising this is, and if we can fill them, then there's always potential for more, is kind of where we see it. It's a great site. The property's huge. So yeah.
Okay.
So I know there was some tax increment financing that was used on this. Is that going to continue when this changes it to hotels, or are you not sure?
I do not know that answer. We did meet with the administrator with Waverly.
Okay.
And I can't remember his name.
James.
James.
And Connie.
Okay.
Yep, we had a meeting with them, and there were some conversations of stuff, but that's above me.
Okay.
So I don't know that answer, but I can find out if you'd like.
I can probably follow up with James for that answer
Okay,
too.
yep.
It will be going to council to remove that agreement.
Okay.
I believe the hope is for the 18th, but once we get the agreement signed.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess, from a land use standpoint, is there any possible intent to use any of the restaurant, convention space, or any of those for other venues? Or will that all be turned eventually into residential?
Well, at this point, we're just doing the hotels, so this is
Right.
phase one. And then there is potential. I mean, yeah, it'd be awesome to have a event space back. It's very nice, it's very large, everything in there's fairly new. So, yeah, that is the goal, to maybe bring that back. But again, we're just kind of here at this phase one and see if we can grow it this way first.
But it includes everything right now. You just
Yeah.
won't be doing anything.
Correct,
It'll
we
be
just wouldn't be doing,
sheltered.
yep.
Yeah.
And I assume there's plenty of parking for the hotels, so there'll be plenty of parking for the apartments as well.
There's a lot of parking there, yep.
Yeah. Lots.
Okay. Any other discussion while he's up with us? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else to speak on item 1 in our public hearing section? If not, I'll close the public hearing for that, and we'll kind of jump into any further discussion with the commission here. Paige, I would ask, just quick, was there any feedback with the 250-foot radius list?
No, no
On this
public
one?
comments were received.
Okay, thank you. Any staff comments?
Staff supportive of it.
Okay. Good. Commission discussion.
I'll move that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of the special provisional use at 1900 Heritage Way for a multi-family residential structure to the Board of Adjustment.
Second.
All right, we have the motion that's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, that motion carries. Okay, item 2 of section E of the agenda is for a special provisional use request at 2105 E Bremer Avenue for a ground-mounted solar system. So saying that, Paige, if you'd walk us through the agenda on that one, I'll open the public comment after that.
Yeah, Eagle Point Solar, on behalf of the owner, Hannah Walt United, applied for the special provisional use for a ground-mounted solar system. The proposed system is going to be located over the parking spaces between the south building and the north building. Due to the zoning district of M1, it doesn't have any side yard setback requirements that needs to be made. They put a roof-mounted system as well. Both of those combined still will not produce more electricity than what they use.
Perfect. All right, so I'll open the public hearing on item 2 of section E. So if anyone has any comments for that, please step forward and address the commission.
Yeah, my name is Daniel Hanwell, Hanwell United. We wanted to put the whole thing on the roof, but a portion of the structure did not allow the weight bearing capacity, and so we're going to make some nice parking spaces for people that are covered.
Yeah.
So I entertain any questions.
So this is gonna be covered parking? Like it's gonna be like a, I don't know, a carport, and you're gonna put these on top?
Carport, yeah.
So I don't know if you know the answer to this. It's not immediately related to land use, but like from a snow load, not really snow load from the weight, but when the snow slides off, is there anything in the design that kind of prevents that? Or like on a steel roof, they have like snow guards and that. Is that anything that's come up and phone a friend here? I was just curious, again, if anyone.
Eagle Point Solar. So the tilt of this, where the modules are gonna be, is about 7 degrees. So they're not gonna run off like a normal ground array for us. So some of it will sit up there and melt slowly through the cracks. What we found with ground mounted arrays in the past is it doesn't really affect rain runoff or snow melt runoff. It acts as normal because it doesn't take up a huge amount of space.
You're more worried about snow actually falling on someone as
Right.
opposed to
So-
water management.
So the low edge of the array actually leads down into just kind of a,
It's over a retention pond, so it does cover parking spaces, but there'll be nothing, it's quite a steep embankment, and then there's a
Okay.
retention area.
So it's tilted more south
Correct.
towards the,
Yeah.
rather than into the parking lot.
There's quite a bit of elevation change there on the south edge of the array
I
that you
see.
probably can't see from the drawing.
Yeah, the aerial, it was hard to tell, so I was just, wanted to take the opportunity to ask.
You're welcome to come out anytime and take a look.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's clear. It's, again, not a land use direct question, so I appreciate that. Any other questions from the gang here? Awesome. Thank you. Any other public comments for this one? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing on item 2, and we'll jump into commission discussion for this one.
I would move the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of the special provisional use at 2105 East Bremer for a ground mount solar system to the Board of Adjustment.
Second.
Yeah.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. We'll go ahead and take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, that motion passes as well. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, item 3 is our special provisional use request at 1110 and 1200 4th Street Southwest for a school. I would ask Paige to walk us through the agenda memo and maybe go ahead and give us some feedback on any public comments on this one as we read the agenda memo, and then I'll open up the public hearing portion.
Yeah. Waverly Christian School was the applicant on behalf of Grace Baptist Church, who is the owner, for a special provisional use for a school at 1110 and 1200 4th Street Southwest. They are proposing to utilize the classroom space in the church and then have a 1 classroom detached or portable building located on that vacated lot at 1200 4th Street where the house used to be. The building would meet the I believe it's I have to double check on the zoning of it. It met the setbacks for that. It will not have the water and sewer. A door is going to be added on the south side of the church to allow easier access for the students to access the restroom as needed. 7 public comments were received in support of the special provisional use.
Okay, thank you. So with that, I'll open the public hearing portion for item 3 of section E of our agenda. So if anyone would like to speak to the commission on behalf of this item, please approach the podium.
Hi, my name is Mark Brown. I'm a member of Grace Baptist Church, speaking on behalf of them. And we believe the space there would be ideal for a school because there's over 9 acres of space there. It's conveniently centrally located for parents. Generally speaking, the times where a school would be needed, it's not being utilized by church activities, so it just allows you to make more efficient use of the space. And so I guess anybody have any questions about it?
Well, I mean, we're looking at land use, not philosophy and so on. The one land use question I've got is related to bus traffic. How do you propose to get the school buses in and out? Have you got a plan for that?
Yes, so one of the things that's nice about their driveway there is they already have an entrance and an exit. You know, the thought that we had is that people and parents as well could enter on the west entrance and they can loop around and they could exit out on the east entrance with probably a right turn only to help alleviate traffic concerns.
So the east entrance is onto the frontage road, is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay.
And where would the right turn only be? You mean when they go back onto 10th Avenue?
Correct. So that would, yeah, that would be, you'd only be able to turn east.
Okay.
From a, maybe I just missed the answer to John's question there, but then the buses would fit into that how? Bus traffic, I guess they would enter on the north side or the,
Yeah, the one little complication with taking them in that direction and out, it puts, it puts the door on the correct side. I mean, it would be
No, it
facing the
works for a
school.
bus.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not expecting tons of buses here.
I would assume it'd be one bus.
It's only one bus, right? Two, maybe?
I don't have an exact answer on the number of buses, but the anticipated enrollment in the beginning is 60, 70 students,
Yeah,
so.
one-
We haven't
if you built it,
discussed-
It would be one bus.
Well, I think, well, I shouldn't speak for them, but I think at St. Paul's now we get two, but,
Yeah.
okay.
Are you gonna put it on the lot where the house had been demolished?
That's correct.
Okay.
And in my understanding, this is for 2 to 3 years. You have plans to kind of build something somewhere else at some point?
Well, that's part of the land use. The appeal of it is that potentially it could be a great place to expand because we have the 9 acres there. And so that may not happen, but, it's a good temporary place in the beginning. Alleviates the financial pressure for a new school, better utilizes the space that's already there. And so that'd be forthcoming, see how things go.
Okay. Any other questions for Mark while he's up? Okay. Any other comments for us?
I think I had the easiest questions of all three, so I'll take it. Thank you.
You bet. All right. Anyone else would like to make a comment?
I actually do have a question.
Certainly.
Sorry, I don't know who wants to answer it.
See what the question is.
Based on the,
Let him say his name.
oh, sorry.
Fisher, will they?
Fisher?
Fisher, yep.
Okay. Hi.
So the building is a portable building, much like the one we looked at for the school. Is it this, it's very small, right? How is it sitting on a foundation? Is it tied to the ground? What's the situation in terms of keeping it in place?
Yeah, I think
900 square feet.
if I'm not the best person to answer this. I think we have, there's gonna be concrete foundation that goes down. Drew can touch on that.
Drew Mummelthai from Waverly. It'll be professionally anchored down, however that would be. I am not a contractor, but all the proper codes will be met. Similar as the buildings we're kind of setting at Carrion or West Cedar. We'll do everything correctly, and then obviously we're going to have it close enough that they can access the main area. So ground wire will be obviously trenched in the ground wherever the closest service is at, and that'll all be done by a professional electrician, and just a lot of steps to go into that, but it'll all be done obviously per code and per our contractor. So.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Any other questions or?
I don't hear any yet, so. Thank you, Drew and Fisher. All right. Any other comments from the, okay? Well, once, go twice, okay. So I'll close the public hearing on this item and we'll turn it back over to the commission for additional discussion.
So when we discussed this earlier with the building at St. Paul's, we had a time limit on that.
There's a
And
time limit in here.
how firm is that?
When we did this a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was a month ago, time goes way too fast. we did put a time limit on it, that it had to come back to planning and zoning for a reevaluation. I think your point, Kathy, is that we should probably do the same thing here. Now, they're saying that they're only going to use it for 2 to 3 years, but I think to be fair and consistent, it makes sense to put the same timeline on this one that we put on the other one.
Well, they're really only asking for 3 years, so.
Right, but
Before-
Right, but
before there's some
with the other
change.
one, we had a provision in there that they did have to come back.
they had to
Sure.
come back, because they didn't
And
offer
so
that.
are we saying, in this case, because they say 2 to 3 years, that we'd say they have to come back at 3 years, or are we saying they have to come back at 5 years?
I guess I don't want only, I suggest only giving them what they asked for.
No, I guess I would be willing just to go to the 5 years.
Yeah, that's
I don't
what I
want to
think.
make something separate.
Why complicate what we've done and say
Yeah.
one's different than the other?
Because things change sometimes and it may take them longer, and I think there's no reason to do something different than what we've already done with St. Paul's. I think it would be wise just to put the 5 years in there, and if they don't need it, they don't need it. But I don't want to get in here, well, then they come in and need more than the 3, and I said, well, you gave 5 to St. Paul's, and I think we should just put 5 in there and
So is that a motion?
Sure, I'll read the motion and with a 5-year. So, I move that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of the special provisional use at 1110 and 1200 4th Street Southwest for a school to the Board of Adjustment with a limit of 5 years. Or should I say?
To be reviewed.
To be reviewed, yeah, okay.
Reviewed in 5 years.
To be reviewed in 5 years.
And then if there were some change to the general layout of, it grows beyond the building that they're proposing now, that'll be another reason why they would have to
They'd
return
have to come back for
planning
that
and zoning.
separately
If it
anyway.
changes, yeah.
If you approve it as is, they have to come back once the size increases more than 25%. That 25% is gonna be calculated based on the entire church building right now, since they're utilizing that, and the detached building. So it'd be, if it's more than 25% of their square footage is combined, is when they would have to come back. So they can do a small addition. I'd have to look at the numbers to see at what point they'd have to ask for an amendment.
But for example, if they decided to hook up water and sewer to this building, they would not need to come back for review?
Correct.
Just gotta get a permit.
Sure. Yeah.
Did we get a second?
Not yet.
I second it.
Oh, okay.
You just did though. All right, so we have a motion, amended motion, that,
Just regular.
No, it's just a
There's the
regular
first
motion,
motion.
just add it
Motion
on.
just-
You just did a different motion than what was written.
yep, sorry, gets complicated sometimes. I apologize for my Robert's rules
You do a good job.
etiquette here. All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. I'm gonna ask for a vote. So all in favor for this item, please say yes.
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 Yes. Hearing none opposed, that motion carries and passes. All right,
I want to thank you, everybody, for the comments and support of it.
yeah, we appreciate it.
Yep.
We have more than, a lot of stuff to go over. If we
We
were
were kicking you out,
Crazily.
maybe.
Got a couple more items.
Pete will
They're
stay,
really exciting.
Pete will stay for us.
Is it okay if I say thank you?
No, absolutely.
I'm associate pastor at Grace Baptist Church, and I was going to just come up and say thank you guys for volunteering and serving in this way. This is my first planning and zoning committee, and it was good.
All right.
Yeah.
You have an interest in serving on it?
Is there a position open?
There will be.
There might
It seemed like
be.
there was a lot of names she mentioned that weren't here, and it seemed like all were filled, but there will be when? Because I do have an interest in serving the
Maybe
city.
sooner than later.
If
never
you
know.
have interest, send an email to myself.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fisher can get you in my email.
I think I have it. He texted me.
Okay.
Is it just like p.yoder@something.com?
She's
got
on the
it.
website, she's not hard to find.
Oh, yeah.
You can find my information.
Well, thank you guys. He's still here.
I'll see you Monday.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, on to item E in our regular business section, which, item 1 is adopting the updated City of Waverly zoning map. Paige, agenda memo, please.
Yeah, so every year we just go through and update and adopt a new zoning map. This last year we had 4 rezonings, so they are or should be reflected on the new map.
Did you change the colors a little bit? The blues look a lot more contrast clear.
Scott LaRue at the county does it all for me.
Or did my new lens implants straighten things out?
Do you want
I
to,
don't know.
you want to remind us where those zoning changes happened? Because I really don't remember.
Yes.
It's a lot of trust.
The first one was that 801, 803 7th Avenue Northwest. That was the Chad Himes lot that's been vacant for a while. We rezoned it down for a single family home. The next one was I did not put the street on that one. That's up 3rd Street Southwest, kind of up by Spot and Rose. There's 4 units that were attached that separated into individual ones. The last one was that one over by the airport, like what we discussed last month, next to Public Services Facility where
Dales.
the service. Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh, and that rental property there, 2nd Avenue Northeast for Bo Buchholz.
I'll move the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval to adopt the updated City of Waverly zoning map.
Second.
All right, a motion that's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, that motion passes as well. All right, item 2, review the amendment to Waverly Code Section 100.21.07-2, I guess. Yard requirements exceptions.
Yeah, so I brought this back this month after our discussion last month about fence heights there on corner lot lines. We talked about, do you change something with corner lots? We thought it was easiest just to change it in the fence code section, kind of the cleanest, the easiest at this point. So the proposed is to add language that fences can be 3 feet high in the front yard and 6 feet in the rear yard. But in cases of a corner lot, if the side yard of that corner lot is the longer street side, then it can go up to 6 feet in height. Seems kind of wordy, but we were trying to work to get everything said that needs to be said.
This is basically identifying the longer side as the side and the shorter side as the front of the house.
Correct. Just for fences, because we didn't want to open it up for accessory buildings, everything like that. So we aren't calling it a true side,
So this is just for
fences.
okay.
Yeah, and I find myself looking at lots of fences now.
Now you notice them all.
Yeah, you do, and
It seems like there's a lot more 6-foot sections going up around town. I've just noticed too. I've been,
yeah, I think we all probably have in our research here, but, and pardon my ignorance on this again, but, so, if you were to, how far into the front yard can you bring a side yard fence, for example? And is that limited by what is that controlled
You
by?
can only do the side yard.
So,
If it's front of the house, it becomes front yard.
yep,
Yeah.
as soon as it breaks that plane of the house.
Of the
So,
front of the house.
That's what I was trying to
Yeah.
clarify.
Or if it's a corner lot, currently, if you have your longer side and it breaks still that side of that house, then it would be dropped down according to today's code.
And then, so if you were to continue towards the street in the front yard, it's 3 foot high, or
Right.
it drops to a different height.
Right.
Okay.
And so with this change, this would allow it to be 6 feet going from that side yard to the sidewalk. It can go beside the house towards the front, it just can't go in front of that front plane of the house towards the other street side.
That was the answer I assumed, but I
Yeah.
couldn't recall where it was.
And front yard means front door.
No.
No, it means
Means the narrow
shorter
side of the
Front
lot.
side, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So if it is addressed and the front door is on the longer side, then you can't have it. So it is truly, your front door, your address, your true front of the house needs to be on the shorter side of the house, or shorter street side in order for this to be applicable. If you have a rectangle lot, your front door, your address is off of the longer side, then we don't want the fence going higher on that short side.
It's all dependent on what your address is.
Yeah, yeah. Which is typically where your front door is at.
There's a couple around town that are on,
Yeah.
it's hard to even know where the actual, but you have to go by the address.
Yeah.
Their front doors are really on the side, but it's not their address.
Right. There are some, yeah.
So, reading through this revised code section, do we feel it's clear enough, kind of back to my question, the front plane of the house, defining where the front yard starts? Because I know we crossed some of that off.
That'll be in the definitions.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So do we have to wait till the definition?
No,
Okay.
That's in the current definition.
that's current definition.
Oh, I thought you said it'll be what's in.
No, that,
No, it-
I
like
couldn't
the,
understand what you were saying, because I thought you were talking about, you were gonna put some additional information in there.
no, not,
Okay, all
not
right,
this
that's
one.
fine. Yeah.
The important thing is the part where it says if the side yard. So if it's the front and it's the longer side, this doesn't apply.
Correct,
This is only if the side yard is the longer side.
yes.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it was clear, like, if you're coming up to the long side, you can't bring it past the front of the house to the sidewalk at 6 foot, past the front plane of the house.
That would be clear because then that's considered your front yard per the current definitions of a front yard.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we weren't adding conflicting statements to
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Okay,
Are we good?
I'm clear.
I move that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of the amendment to the Waverly City Code, section, whatever, 100, God, I need new glasses. 100.21.07, two, yard requirements, exceptions to city council.
Second.
All right, we have a motion that's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, that motion carries as well. That concludes our regular business. I see no old business. Staff updates page, anything?
I don't have any.
Okay, commission updates. I have nothing. Anyone else have any? Okay. That takes us to item J.
I move that we adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.